record on this computer. Just a minute. Okay, so we have seen about data provider and how we can run our same test on different devices. Yeah, this is what we have seen in the previous class, and we have some pending topics. We will also try to cover that, and we'll also try to drive the test from using the Json as your data provider. Okay, instead of Excel we can also use Json. Okay, we'll also try to do that, and yeah, so let's first do this Apm CLI. Okay, previously we have Apm desktop, right? So let's normally make a diagram. So this is my Apm desktop, this is my server, and these are my devices. So this is my Apm client. Okay, and this is my Apm server, and these are my devices. So device 3. So this is how we are using so far, and okay, the request comes like this and it goes to different devices. Okay, all good, but the thing is we are using Apm desktop as a server. The good thing about Apm desktop is it comes bundled with all the node modules. Okay, it comes bundled with all the stuff. Okay, you need to run your test. Okay, you don't need Node.js, you don't need executables, all those stuffs. And it also has a inspector that can help you. Okay, Apm inspector, which we used to inspect the elements, right? This is some of the cool stuff about Apm server, and this is what the Apm desktop has been built for. Previously, maybe around 2 years or 2.5 years back, there was no Apm desktop. Maybe 5 years, I am not sure about the number of years, but yeah, in older way there is only Apm CLI. We don't have an Apm desktop or an Apm inspector. People used Apm in the command line interface, as well as they used UA automator for inspecting the element. Now we have an Apm server, that's why we are using. Since your requirement to start the Apm server at the runtime, right? So in those cases, only if you want to start the Apm server at the runtime, okay, then in those cases, maybe you can use the Apm CLI. Otherwise, always use the Apm desktop, guys. Okay. So how to do that? First thing is, guys, you need to have your Node.js installed. So maybe type node-version. Okay. Maybe node-v. Yeah, so I have my Node.js installed. So if you don't have it, okay, I already told how to install it. Node.js download. Okay, download for your operating system. So for Windows, you download 64-bit and then try to do the installation. It will automatically set the path environment variable for you, so you don't have to worry about setting the environment path. Okay, once you do that, just check node-v so that it gives you the version. Again, the version should be, I think, greater than 12 if you are using the Apm latest version. Okay, so just make sure that you are installing the latest version. That's the first thing. Now, if you install the node, right, it's like your chocolatey or your brew packages. I hope you all know about what is brew, chocolatey. They're all package managers, right? The same way, if someone has already worked with protractor is a npm package. The same way, Apm is also an Apm package, so you can easily install them with a single command. Okay, so npm is a node package manager. Okay, and install is a command. I want to install. Okay, -g gives you the elevated privileges, something like that. And what I want to install, I want to install a node package manager. Using node package manager, I want to install Apm. Okay, as simple as that. If you're instructing protractor, people normally use protractor. Okay, so this is how it is. Okay, now we are installing Apm. Okay, so once you do this, just run it. Okay, what it'll do, it will try to fetch it from the central repository. Suppose if you add a Maven dependency, what will happens? It fetch it from the Maven central repository, right? The same way it fetches from your, the repositories. Okay. So it might take few seconds or few minutes based upon your internet speed. Okay, it also downloads the default Chrome driver, all those stuff for you. Okay, we will see what and all stuff it has, what and all the stuff you need to add more in order for you to run the test. Okay. Okay. Now if you notice, it has thrown us some warnings. That's okay. But if you notice, it has done all the things. Okay, WinApp driver, that's okay. We are not automating any Windows app for now, so we don't need that. So it is also telling it has installed a Chrome driver for us. Okay, if you want to work with the mobile Chrome, I also have downloaded the Apm-Chrome driver in this particular location. Okay, we'll go to that location and then we will see all those things. Okay, if you notice, it has retrieved automatically, it has downloaded a Chrome driver 89 version, and then it has put up in this particular folder. Okay, and let's go to that folder so that we can understand what is happening. Okay, maybe C users, the same thing. Okay, C users, your username, and then there will be a hidden folder called as app data. You need to go inside that. Okay, and then it will be inside roaming, I guess. Okay, and inside that there will be npm. Okay, all the node package managers stuff will be here. Okay, so in my case, I have only Apm, so directly it is giving me this. If you have protractor, all those stuff, you have different folders. Maybe a folder for Apm, folder for protracted, other node module packages, all those stuff. Okay. So here, if you go inside this, here if you notice Apm Json server, I have Json server as well, right? Because I have used for Postman. Okay. So Newman reporter and all I have used for Postman for API automation. So those package managers are also here. Okay. Good. So I'm going inside Postman, and if you notice, I'm going inside lib. You have all this stuff, Apm. Yeah, going inside node modules. If you notice, Apm-Chrome driver. Okay, inside this Chrome driver, you will have your 89 version. Suppose the emulator or the real device that you are using, okay, then it will default pick the Chrome driver from this location. Okay, if your Chrome version in the mobile is different, then try to download a new Chrome driver and put it in the path. Okay, put it in this path. Otherwise, you can also download and put it in your project directory that we normally do. You normally put it here, right? Same way you can put it, and then you can tell in the decide capabilities that my decide, my Chrome driver executable is present in this path. Okay, which we normally did previously. So anything is fine. Okay, so this is the first thing, that it comes bundled with your default Chrome driver, espresso driver, different drivers for automating all those stuff. And all these are all the things that it has. It has a lot of download a lot of packages, but the Apm desktop comes with all of these as a bundled version. Okay, so either you can use a Apm CLI as well. Now Amudan, I have installed this. How can I run? Okay, it's simple. Previously, Apm server, Apm client, we have Apm client. Yes, we have the Apm client ready, and we have also the devices. Maybe we can run it on the browser stack. That's all. So no, okay, since this is a local server, I might need my emulator or the physical device. Okay, so I'm just opening my emulator. So only thing is I need to start the Apm server. Previously we open Apm desktop and click on run, it'll start it. But how can I start it now? Okay, you can just type Apm. Okay, that's it, guys. Now if you notice, it has asked me to whether you want to give the access. Yes, I want to give the access. That's it. So this access will be asked the first time. After that, it will not ask. Now this went to the listening mode. Okay, there is a version of 1.21. It is started on the port 4723 and it went to listening mode, guys. This is in listening mode. I cannot use it. Okay, so that's easy it is. So once you start the Apm server, now the Apm client is ready, server is ready, you can delegate your test. Okay, so let me open AVD manager and run this. Okay, whatever. And let me go to the config properties and look at. Okay. And let's open the test.ng.xml. and then run it as okay, since we are running it as parallel, but we only have one device so far. So, okay, let's see what's happening. So there is some compilation warnings. Okay, what it told. Okay. So if you notice, the Apm server is receiving all the commands from the client. Okay, it is working. Pre-failed. Okay, absolutely fine. What is happening? So I ran just 2 tests. Okay, original. See, I think the emulator is causing a little bit of hiccups. Okay, the decided capabilities what I have passed is actually not needed. Okay, so let me come out of this code, because if I pass these desired capabilities to my local driver, it will not work. Okay, local driver impl. I know I don't need any of these, right? So I don't need the device capability, all those stuff. If I want to run it in my local, just I need this. Okay, so let's try to run it now. Run as just introduction. I just commented out my data provider so that these data will not be fed. Okay, it will just run this. Okay, now this will fail because the node needs this injection. Okay, now go to the test introduction. Sorry guys, normally I will prepare. Today I just slept a little bit. Okay. Array index out of bound exception. Okay, so we have done some changes there, right? So it is causing a little bit of hiccups now, because we are injecting. If you're using data provider only, we'll have value here, otherwise we won't have value. Maybe what we can do to avoid all these things, okay, we'll use the data provider. Okay. And instead of all these things, maybe I'll send an empty map. Okay, stake map. So while sending, I'll not add any of these. I'll just add map2 and then from it out. Okay. Now it should work. Let's see.
Hello.
Hi, Aditya.
Oh, did you stop the recording in the middle? Okay.
Yeah, I just switched it around.
Okay.
So yeah, now this should work. Okay, but all I'm interested is to show you guys the logs. So unable to create an initiation automator, there could be socket hanged. Okay, this is because my emulator is not responding properly. But yeah, but what I wanted to say is, okay, your whole code will absolutely work. Okay, the only thing is we are running it from your command line interfaces. Okay, that's the only difference. I'm just trying to replicate.
Instead of emulator, can we not run browser stack also?
No, see, this server is hosted in my local, right? I can only connect to my devices, that is connected to my machine. When we run it on browser stack, we are connecting to the Appium server running in their cloud. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Right. You again go to the basics and you
Yes.
just think about it. Okay.
So physical devices connected to our machine we can run,
Yeah,
emulator
we
we
can.
can run.
Yeah. Just a minute. I'm just a minute. Okay. So let me also.
Amutan, can we check the logs in
Yeah.
our can we debug via logs how?
I think it didn't even respond properly, so that's why it's feeling sockets. Most of the time, I need to wipe the data and then We need to try it again. But yeah, I have my mobile device ready now. So let me switch off this. We don't need this anymore. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, let's try to run it now and then see what's happening. At least we should get the logs. Let's go to the tweet test. Let's do this. Okay.
Get
It is opening in my machine. I don't know. This is not working properly. But the test is running in my machine. So let's wait. What it's telling. Okay, reload now. I think there was some issues with the screen sharing, guys, but the test got ran. The reason why it didn't run because maybe yeah, that's because of the emulator. Yeah, apart from that, all the things remains the same. Okay, the unlock key type. Okay, do not take that. My device name is not mandatory. It's just a name, so it should have worked. But only reason is just because the emulator is loaded with a lot of caches, it didn't work. So maybe I'll try to run it once again so that you guys can see the screen. Okay, xml and run it as so just one difference, guys. The logs you will be seeing in the command line interface. So we are running Apm in the CLI mode. That's the only difference. Okay. It's dragging the icon, it got dropped. Okay. So the test also got passed. So this is basic, way of running your test cases. Okay. Yeah. So if you want to even run your, introduce a Chrome, you open a Chrome browser and do the other stuff, it's the same logic. Okay. Good. So we have also seen this. Suppose if you want to run it on different, if you want to pass some arguments, say you want to open it in a different port than 4723, then there are some commands. Okay, Apm CLI commands. Just Google it. Apm CLI commands. Okay, so go to their official version. Okay, and notice you have a lot of options. Suppose you want to open it on different port. Okay, instead of the standard port. Okay, 4723. Then they are telling use either -p or -- port. Okay, let me create one more Windows terminal. Okay, and then type apm -port -p and then give the port number as 4724. Now it has started in the different port, that is 4724. Okay, in Apm desktop, it is just a value we will enter in a text box. Here we need to pass it as a argument to the Apm command. Okay, that's the only difference, guys. Okay, see, it is also telling there is a non-default argument that I received. By default, this is 4723. I have now received a non-default argument 4724. Okay, so this is how basically you can pass any different things. Okay, suppose okay, you want to set something else. Okay, you can also go ahead and do all these things, but most importantly, we don't need any of this. Okay, even the Chrome driver executable and all, you can set it in the decide capabilities like we normally do, so you don't have to set it here. Okay, but if you think there is something that I have to do using this, okay, then you can do it. Okay, by default you can, some cases you want to set the platform name here so that you don't have to pass it in the decide capabilities, then you can do all these things. But yeah, most of them are deprecated, so just use the one that you feel that is relevant and valid. Okay, in my case, I think only the port is valid, because if you want to run it on you want to do the parallel execution, you can open one in the 4723 port, another in the 4724 port, and then delegate your test. And that is one of the way, right? So yeah, in those cases you can use it, or if your 4723 is occupied by someone else, then you can use it. But apart from that, I don't see there is a need for these arguments. But in case if you need, you can also do that. Okay, you can also come here, check. It is very simple plain English. You can just try to see what it is and then understand about it. Okay, Good. So this is all about Apm CLI, guys. That's the only difference between Apm desktop and Apm CLI. It runs on your command line interface. Okay.
Amutan,
Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Like so far we have automated all application workflows and all.
Yeah.
But we feel okay, like even to start and stop these manual things, like can we, is it
Yeah. Okay.
appropriate way to start and stop via our script only?
Yeah, no problem, man. See, very simple. Okay. Now you understood how to start a Apm CLI,
Mm-hmm.
in a command prompt, right?
Yes.
So what is
Also,
the command? So you normally run. Suppose let's go to this particular location. Okay, where is this? Open in Explorer. Just a minute. Okay, so I have this. Okay, what I'm going to do? I want to create a new file. Okay, maybe some file like this. Okay, what I'm going to do? Apm. So this is the command that I normally need to run, right?
yes.
Okay, save it as. Okay.
.bat.
Yeah, start Apm. Okay. Done. That's it. Okay. Now you remove the old document. Okay. Now you have this. Okay. Next time someone is double clicking this, it'll start a new server for them, right? So this is the first way. So it has started. So what I can do, I can call. There is a way to call run a batch file from your Java program. Okay. Is there a
That
way? You know, right?
yeah, I know.
Very simple way. Okay.
Yeah.
Just to use that in your before suite, you start your
And
Apm server and then you stop the Apm server at the end.
so okay, so we need to write. We need to call that code in suite level, right? So
Yeah,
before
suite
suite,
level before
suite
suite.
level. Okay.
Yeah, before suite, and then it might take couple of seconds. Okay, so just give a thread or sleep of 2 seconds or something after
Mhm.
this command. Okay, there are
Okay.
ways where you can read these logs. What is the logs it's doing? We can tail those using Java, but those are not needed. Okay, just make sure that you're waiting. You're putting some thread or sleep for maybe 5 seconds. Okay, after running this command, so that it gets enough time to start, and then once this is started, you can delegate your test. Okay, maybe a 5 second gap after running this patch file. Okay, just one liner. This is just a one liner. Okay, you need to get the runtime dot get runtime, and then you need to
That
pass the
that batch
path.
file I know, Amutan.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
batch file. Yeah.
Even if somebody doesn't know, guys, please. There is always Google. Okay, how to run a batch file from Java. That's it. So you'll get the snippets. There will be runtime dot get runtime. Okay, you use this. This is basically a singleton pattern. Okay, so you're getting your runtime instance and then calling the executable method. Just pass command dot exe and then whatever the file path you need to give. Okay, just go through this and then you should be in a position to run it. Okay, so they have clearly given. So just to use this batch file name and then pass the location of your file. That's it. Okay, very simple process, and then you can start your Apm server at the runtime. But why I didn't tell this before is normally in a project they might not be relying on running it on the local machines. Okay, even if you are running it on local machines, what I would suggest is create them manually, do it. Okay, if you have a cloud provider support, then you can do all the CI/CD integration and all other stuff. Apm test are little flaky. Then your Selenium test, yeah, it is there, but still, we have to work with it. It'll work, guys. Okay, maybe 40-50 test cases. Yes, it will run without any issues in a real device. But emulators or definitely not recommended. They may get stuck somewhere. They throws a lot of exception like what we have seen so far. So it can happen. Okay, so those things can happen in an emulator. So always use physical device or a cloud device. Okay, now what we can also do, yesterday someone asked, okay, if you want to run test in Chrome browser, how will I do that? Guys, nothing. Okay, whatever the base page that we have created so far. Okay, just go here and then we'll refactor this name to just name it to native base page. Okay, and then yeah, you can select all and then click on OK. Now if you notice, all these things are extending our native app base page. Okay, maybe native app base page would be the proper name. Please change that according to your needs. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create one more class that's named as native, sorry, web app base page. Okay, you can create a web app base page and you can add all those things inside this. Okay, let's say you want to do some clicking operation. Okay, protected, okay, void click, but this takes in a web element. Okay, not like before, it takes in a web element. And then what you can do, you can pass string of element name. Okay, here you can mention elements dot click, and then you call your extend logger, that is extend logger dot pass. Okay, is clicked successfully and element name. Okay, so based on this you can write your logic. Again guys, you can have one more parent class. Okay, for your parent class for the web and native. It's up to you. You can provide a click method with the click method as a abstract method, and you can provide your implementation. But the problem is you need to do the casting. Okay, let's also do that. Okay, again guys, I hope you all know how to add more methods. Okay, send keys, all those stuff. It's just normal Selenium code, you just need to add it. Okay, if you want to create some web pages also, you can do like this. Okay, Google homepage. Okay, in Google homepage will extends my web app base page. Okay, something like this. And here you can use by locators or all those locators. Okay, and then you can create the page methods, all those stuff, and use the wrapper methods present here. Okay, the reason why I haven't created a new base page for a parent page for these two pages, let's try to do it and understand the issue. Okay, I'll just name it as base page. Okay, this is your base page for your web and native apps. Okay, for both of them you can have like this, and then you can have some abstract methods like public abstract void click. I can have click method, that's okay, but what is the parameter for this? Okay, let's you can also have it as an interface as well, so that it's more convenient. So I can have a click method that takes in web elements and then string element name. I can do this. Okay, and from from my web base page, what I can do, I just implement your base page. There is 2-level hierarchy now. So we are providing so you can add override symbol as well. That's okay, annotation as well. So this is okay. Suppose in this case, okay, in the native base page, the problem is we need to do the typecasting. Okay, if I do implements base page, then there is a method called click, but it is having web element, sorry, the mobile element. So what I need to do, I need to convert it to web element. Okay, if I convert it to web element, okay, then I need to do the typecasting here. Okay, I need to do the typecasting of converting to mobile element like this. Okay, there is a little bit of extra work involved, so I prefer not to do it, but it's up to you guys. You can create base page as an interface, do all these things. Okay, and then create all the abstract methods. For example, the scroll down operation that takes in a web element. Okay, the scrolling down operation is different for both. native and base page. Sorry, another web page. So in native app we will scroll differently, but in web page we use JavaScript executor to scroll. Okay, JavaScript executor. But in native app, this is the code that we have written, right? You all know how to scroll to a specific element and click on it. So this is the code we have written. So if you feel you need this base page for your native as well as web page, then you can create it. But my recommendation, you don't need such things, because this is a web element. Your Chrome browser will normally use a web element. If you try to create a generic method like this, you might need to do the typecasting. That is again a problem. So what I would suggest, you can remove this. Okay, it's up to you guys, but I'm just telling you an idea, how to do it, how to approach the problems. Okay, why I'm not doing it. Okay, so let me remove this. Okay, we don't need this anymore. This will be mobile element itself, so I don't need to do the typecasting. One related problem. What is the problem? So sometimes the issue is not going. Okay, okay, good. So this is it, guys. So we have also done this. So yesterday someone asked if we need to drive the whole stuff from JSON provider. JSON as the test data, and then we need to store values in JSON, and then we need to drive our test from JSON. That's what they have asked yesterday, right? Have anyone tried that? Okay, have anyone tried that to do it? Is anyone tried to do with that? Am I audible?
Yes, Amutan, you're audible.
Yeah, but have you guys tried to do that?
No.
Okay, so there are multiple ways, right? So basically, what I'm going to do, we'll also try to do that. I have already this sample code with me. Let me create a new file. Let's name it as, okay, maybe I'll create a new folder, directory for JSON file. Okay, JSON test data, maybe something like that. Okay, and let's create a new file. Let's name it as iteration one. Okay, iteration one. For iteration one, we need this JSON file. Okay, and for iteration two, I need one more. Okay, it's up to you whether you want to store all the iteration in only one JSON file or in different JSON files. It's up to you. But yeah, I'm just giving you an idea. Iteration two, not JSON. So what you can basically create is, you can create a simple skeleton. Let's take an example from our tab test. So we need these two values, right? So device. So the device is this, and the value is over here. Okay, so that's it, guys. So we have now one set of test data ready. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to copy this. I want to put it here. Okay, let's just change the device name. That's it. Now we have two JSON files. Okay, we need to read this. At the end of the day, what we need to do, we need to read them and store it in a map. Okay, once you get the map, you just need to add it into a list. Okay, and then you can return it as a array. Again, guys, there is no need to add it to the list and then do it. We can directly also return it as a array. Okay, how can we do that? So if you are not interested in doing all these things, this is for simple understanding I have given, so that you can easily understand. So what you can also do is new object array, and then you can mention map comma map one. Okay, I'm creating an anonymous object array and then feeding map and map out. That's it. Instead of adding it to a list and then converting to an object array, you can also do this. Okay, this is also possible because at the end of the day, all we want is an object array. Okay, this is also possible. You can do it like this as well. But now we want to drive this from our um, whatever the data we have hard coded, it needs to come from the JSON files. That's our requirement. Okay, so there is something called as Jackson data bind. Okay, some library called as Jackson data bind. So we need that in order to read the JSON and then directly convert into a map. Okay, it will save a lot of time for us. Okay, let's go here and Jackson data. Let me pick the latest one. Okay, copy it and come to your and I also need Jackson core. Okay, there is something called as Jackson core. We might also need this, so let's pick it up. So make sure these two are both of same version. Okay, otherwise there might be some compatibility issues. Yeah, that's the reason. Always make sure these two are of same versions. Okay. Okay, now this is done. So now there is something called as some random code. Maybe object mapper class. There is something called as object mapper. Yes. Okay, I didn't try it, but let's show object mapper dot read file, read value. Okay, so read value is there, and if you notice, you give me the file and then the Java type. Okay, so it's as simple as that. So you give me the file and what type I need to convert. So there, it's very simple, right, to understand. Somebody is telling have to log off for another meeting. Okay, sorry Sham, I got a little late, but yeah, you can watch the videos. Thank you. So if you have a Pojo directly, you can also convert to a Pojo, but in our case we just need a map. You don't need a Pojo, so we'll use this. So we will tell new file and then we need to give the path. Okay, so path is your current working directory and then plus. Okay, src/test/resources/ and then inside resources I have JSON test data. Okay, slash iteration 1.json. Okay, something like this. And what I want to convert it to, I want to convert this into a hash map. Okay, of type string, comma, maybe string this time, but yeah, you need to give the type preference. I don't know whether it will work, but yeah, it's first queue hashmap.class. That's it. So now I can introduce a new variable here. Yeah, so maybe like this. It is throwing error. Okay, that's okay. It throws an IO exception. That's okay. But yeah, but basically we have converted this to string, comma, so okay, give like this. Okay, good. This is the first way, right? So now we have created the first data. Now we need the second data. Okay, the same code, copy it. Okay, we want to read the second data. Hashmap 2. Okay, this is the second one. So what I want to do, I want to do hashmap, hashmap 2. That's it, guys. Now all this information will be fetched from okay, we don't need this. It will be fetched from JSON file. That's it. So what is the complexity here? Very simple code, right? Maybe this particular method alone you might not know, but if you Google how to convert a JSON to hashmap, you get a ready-made code. Use read value, give the path of the JSON file, and what is the class you want to convert it to. Again, you might convert this to new type preference and then give the exact key and value, but that's okay for now. It'll work. Okay, let's try to run it in the browser stack. So let's also change the config.properties, okay, as BS. Let's open test.xml and try to run it. Okay, the tests are running, so hopefully this is working. Okay, so this is as simple as that, guy. You can use CSV also. What you need to do, whatever the value that you are getting, you just need to convert that into map, and then you store all the map into a list, external list, and then convert to array, or you can directly convert like this. You can also do one more thing, that instead of using two different JSON files, you can club this information into same JSON itself. Okay, but at the end of the day, while reading the JSON, what you have to do, you have to store it in list of Hashmap. Okay, you have to store it in list of Hashmap, and then once you get the list of Hashmap, okay, once you get the list, you need to store it in the list of Hashmap, right? This is what we did. String or string object, maybe. Once you store in this, just to use list dot to array. That's it. It will convert to an object array. Okay, as simple as that. You can also use just to only one JSON file instead of two JSON files. That's absolutely fine. If you notice, the test also got ran successfully. We have now feeded the data from the JSON file and used it in the data provider. As simple as that, guys. Okay, there is also ways where you can give the path alone. Okay, you give the JSON test data path alone. You can iterate these two files. Okay, you can write some logic. Okay, go to this particular folder, fetch all the files in this particular location, convert them into a map. Okay, and then load it into a list and then convert to an object array. You can write some Google, you can write, try to do some Googling, and then you can do it. But for now, just two test data. I have hard coded it like this. There is also a way you can combine these two files into one file and then directly generate list of map and then feed it. Okay, it's all about trying out your stuff. Once you try out, everything will work fine, guys. Okay, good. You can also use CSV, YAML, absolutely fine. Okay, end of the day, construct the list of map, convert to an object array. That's it, only code. Okay, any other doubts so far, guys? Otherwise, I am almost done. There is nothing pending from my side.
Amutan, last doubt, like it's not about the coding, but any if suppose like if any updates come from Apm, like that is their GitHub is there, or is there any website for that?
See, there is a Apm Pro.
Okay.
There is one newsletter by the author himself, called as Apm Pro, Jonathan Lips. Jonathan Lips is a main contributor. Okay, you can subscribe to his newsletter so that you get the information about all the stuff that is happening in the Apm world. You can also have a watch list, add yourself in the watch list to the Apm IO GitHub. Okay, Apm. So the conference is happening. Apm conference is happening on 17th, and Apm GitHub. Okay, if you go and add yourselves as a watcher here, so that you get notified whenever they are doing some changes to their documentation. Okay, there is a lot of changes that is coming. Maybe once I get to understand all the stuff, I will make a video. But until then, you can work with this. Okay, it will still work. They're trying to convert this to a W3C protocol and doing all the stuff. Yeah.
Oh, same like Selenium, they are doing that.
Yeah. Okay. At the end of the day, you might not see a lot of differences in the way you use Apm. Almost all the stuff gonna remain the same. Maybe the internal architecture. So this is the guy called Jonathan Lips. He is writing this Apm Pro, whatever the newsletter that is coming. This guy is writing that. Okay, he's a main author for Apm.
Okay.
Good. So that's it about Apm. Apm is very easy, guys. You can get a lot of jobs using Apm. Okay, so try to add it in your resume and then see what's happening. You can get a lot of good jobs. Okay. Good. One more guy, Pete Saab requested, how can I do manual testing with Apm? Okay, there is a lot of things, guys. Manual testing with mobile, mobile is having a lot of things. Okay, so let's try to cover that in a nutshell. If you guys are okay, so what I can do, I'll open a notepad and then cover some important topics. Okay, okay. If there is an app, okay, I have an Android app and iOS app, maybe. Okay, in my company, I want to test them manually, not automation. Okay, if you go to any interview, they might ask some relevant questions with the Android. They might ask you what are the tricky scenarios that you have tested. Okay, first thing, guys. Okay, devices compatibility is always a big problem with mobile. Okay, you have different screen size. Okay, and then different OS versions, Android versions itself. You have different OS versions. Okay, and then different manufacturers. Okay, these all can cause some issues. Okay, so testing them is always a real challenge. Okay, you test the same app on different devices, it's always a difficult thing. Okay, maybe in an interview, if they ask what is a difficult thing you find, so working with manual testing of your mobile applications, hey, this is all the different challenges I have overcome them by using by automating all of them using Apm. I used browser stack to run my cloud, run it on the cloud. I ran it on different devices using data provider. Okay, you tell all these things, right? That's pretty cool. You can also tell I have worked on multiple cloud providers. Maybe you can explore some 2 or 3 more, and then you can add some value to it. Okay, so this is the first challenge that you normally face. What else? Okay, widgets. Okay, there are certain apps that takes widgets. Okay, and then the coloring. Okay, if you're having some widgets, if the user is having a green color, okay, you are also having widget as green color. The phone user is also having background as green color. So what happens, your data in the widget will not be displayed. Okay, so coloring of your widgets is also important. And important thing is, if you are testing it on emulator, if you're testing your app on emulator, testing app on emulator or dedicated device should be avoided. You need to test it on your handset. Test on your handset to get better testing results. Okay, I can quote some examples of this. Let's say you are using your emulator. Will your emulator get any phone calls? No, it won't get any phone calls. Will your emulator run out of battery? No, it won't run out of battery. Will your emulator have a problem with the Wi-Fi connection? No, it won't have problem with Wi-Fi connection. Will your emulator has what apps like WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, or other application that sends in you push notifications? No, it don't have that. Then how reliable your testing is? If you're testing it on your emulator, then it is not reliable, right? In a real use case, what happens, user may get a phone call, your app can get crashed. That can happen, right? So always test it on your personal device so that you can get better results. Okay, so this is one of the other key things that you need to remember while working with mobile testing. And the look and feel of your app is pretty important, and the usability of the app is also important. Otherwise people might not be interested in using your mobile app. So these are all some of the key things that you need to remember. And
And one more thing, Amutan, some apps have capability of using portrait and landscape mode.
yeah,
That also can we add here? That
yeah,
point?
but yeah, you can also test it in both the versions. Okay, if you notice very closely, when I do play some PUBG. Okay, so what happens, I get a message from WhatsApp. Okay, but when I try to send the message or reply them back, Okay, when I click on the message bar, the keypad comes in and then blocks it. So I can never, okay, I can never message someone or reply someone, never reply someone on WhatsApp while playing PUBG. So this is a defect, right? So basically you need to test it on all circumstances. You also need to test it on landscape mode as well, not just in portrait mode. So, okay, yeah, that is a good thing, because I raised this issue to Honor Play, because this is only happening in my Honor Play device. Okay, so I don't know whether it is happening in other device. So you also need to be very specific whether you have tested on different manufacturers, different OS versions, and different screen sizes. Because when I really worked on a project, a payment gateway, so you need to have a payment screen, okay, that where you key in your credit card number, year, and then select your month. Okay, for there is one guy in Australia, he was using an Android version of 5 or 4 point something, I don't know, it's just very old, and the app is not opening there. Okay, he couldn't do the payment. He is complaining and thrashed our support team left and right. Okay, I could not do the payment. How will I recharge my mobile? How will I speak to my relatives? He was asking a lot of questions. But then we cannot go and tell him that you are using very older mobile, right? So at the end of the day, he's our client, and we need to provide him the capability to work with our app. So these kind of things can happen. So always be cautious about these three things. Okay, then your coloring, your push notification. If you're doing some push notification testing, okay, make sure you test it properly. Okay, whether if there are already some other push notifications there, whether your app can inject push notification on top of another push notification. Okay, all those stuff you can try to test all those stuff. Okay, these kind of points you can add when you are trying to attend an interview. Okay, but there should be a journey, right? So there are some issues that I face. I overcome them by using Apm. Okay, do you know Apm? Yes, I know Apm. How long been you working with Apm? I work for almost 1 year now. I have not actually worked on a project yet, but I can automate as such any apps. Okay, I have my Git repo that is having all the code that I have created for automating a native app. Okay, maybe you can also have a look at it. Okay, that sounds crazy. Do you have a GitHub? Yes, this is the link. You can go ahead and watch it. Yeah, so this is how you approach an interview, right? So most people, when I ask them, do you have a code that you have already created, they say no, they don't have a GitHub profile. Then what do you code? Okay, you tell you as an automation engineer, then what you guys code? I don't know where you guys code. Okay, if you're not having anything that to showcase how you code, then there is a problem, right? At least if I ask you to do some coding, you are telling, okay, why you are asking coding in a testing interview? You are coming for an automation profile, I would expect you to do some coding, right? So this is the problem, guys. So whenever you are approaching an interview, please have some kind of you know pre you know premeditated words, so that you can chain them together. Okay, I have this problem, I found a solution, I learned Apm, I did this. Okay, if there is a problem, this guy is ready to learn something new and then do something. Okay, so that's give a good idea about you, right? So always try to link the very simple things like this, and then you should be in a good position to clear all the interviews. Okay, good.
Amutan, is it appropriate to mention our GitHub repo? I had mentioned it, but nobody asked. But
No, I normally I have in my resume, I have mentioned my GitHub profile. Okay,
okay.
I have a lot of people using my frameworks. Yes, I do mention them. If you
Mhm,
have, do mention it. But it's there as if he is not interested, if he
mhm.
thinks, okay, he has already judged you based upon your interview, that's okay, right? So different
Mhm.
people judge people differently. Okay, I see their code, maybe I see how they have handled their exception. That's
Mhm.
how that's my approach, right? It's
Yes.
just dependent on interview. It's not mandatory they have to always come and see your GitHub profile.
Mhm.
Maybe by the way you answer, they can also understand that you can do good coding. Okay,
Yes.
now we have GitHub Copilot that can code for you. So that's not a big deal. Okay, but that varies for people. Okay, if someone is interested, they may ask. Someone is not interested, they may ignore. But keep it in your uh, resume. That adds some value. Yeah.
I think like GitHub is for the session. Okay, so anyway, so like I have a question. Like, you are saying this interruption for by call, or if you give some examples, like interruption by message. So these are the sections which you have mentioned. So they are for the manual testing, right? Can we automate this too, or this you are mentioning all these things for manual testing only?
Yeah, manual testing.
Right? So you cannot automate these, right?
What we can automate the device compatibility. That's what we have used to do.
Interruption by messages, like suppose actually
I don't know. Your voice is really hard for me to hear and then understand. Is it only to me or for everyone?
Amutan, let me summarize. He wanted to ask, like, whatever have we discussed these manual scenarios, is it possible to automate?
Okay,
that was her question to summarize.
Not everything. Okay, only this maybe we can automate, but these kind of things, we cannot automate, right? So how will you inject a phone call? How will you create a push notification? That's not really tricky, right? So don't get into complex stuff, guys. When we automate really simple things, we can make huge differences. I see people trying to automate a lot of complex things. Okay, why you are doing all these things when you can do simple things and do magic? You don't have to worry about complex stuff, that I need to send a push notification, then I need to read from my app. No, you don't have to do it. You can simply tell this is not a good candidate for automating. Okay, so don't just try to automate everything. See, analyze, understand whether you can create a robust test case for this. If it is possible, then do automate it. Otherwise, ignore it. Okay.
So like so this interruption by call, interruption by messages, or memory also, right?
Yeah.
So these are batteries. So these are the cases you are saying, like battery consumption, these are the good candidates for manual testing.
Yeah.
That's what, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's compatibility. Yeah, we have to automate.
Yeah.
Amutan, I have a question. This will be my last question from me. Like, can we decide, what are the basic workflows that customer has or customer will be facing every time, whenever he opens the app, and whatever the customer workflow is there, based on those customer workflows, we can consider the automation candidates, right?
Yeah.
Or
it's up to you, man. It's up to you. You are the one who is designing your test plan, okay, for your automation. So you need to think, okay, what is the scenario that I see a lot of people automating a lot of edge cases that people don't even try in production.
Yes. I'm facing that.
Don't do that, okay? Because automate something that you want. Prioritize the test cases as well. Choosing the test cases is okay. We may need to also automate the edge case. That's okay. But which one is more priority? I have some sanity suite or smoke suite that is very important for me. Then automate it first. Then look for other scenarios or complex scenarios where I can take some time to develop it. Yeah, you can extend it later, but automate something, prioritize which you need first. Okay, so that in the meantime, while you are developing another 50 test cases, these 15 or 20 test cases that you have developed so far can give you some results. Okay, so you need to prioritize like that, and then pick stuff. There are a lot of things, guys, in mobile app. You have fingerprint login, you can automate that, and then you have parental control. Okay, because I used to work for an telecommunication, say imagine like Airtel or Vodafone in India. I used to work for some client in Australia, like that. So we have a fingerprint login. Okay, and then we also have parental control installed on it. So if child is using more than particular amount of data, we'll stop the data. So we have that capability. And what else we have? Suppose, let's say you are using Airtel. Okay, tomorrow morning while you wake up, your Airtel get expired. What do? How will you recharge your mobile? You cannot recharge your mobile. Maybe if you have a desktop, you come to if you are having Wi-Fi, you do a recharge. Suppose you are outside, you don't have a data connection, you don't have anything. Okay, suppose you want to do the recharge, you need a mobile data, right? You don't have the data right now. So this is the issue that we faced. Okay, so customers are telling, hey guys, we are trying to automate. Sorry, we are trying to recharge, but we couldn't recharge. We are trying to pay bill, we are not able to do the pay bill. Okay, so in those cases, what we did is we are giving 10 MB of free data. Okay, for people who want to recharge, For to access our mobile app alone, we are giving 10 MB of free data. Okay, so that they can still come to our app, okay, and then they can recharge. So we call it as zero rating. We don't charge customer for that. This is just a service from our side for them to recharge. So unless they don't recharge, we don't get revenue, right? So this kind of small things makes a lot of difference. Okay, maybe you can run a referral campaign. You ask people to, suppose when GPay started, they used a referral campaign. Okay, you refer somebody, if they install the app using your referral code, you get more points. Okay, that's another trick. And then there are a lot of things like this, guys. Okay, so mobile app testing is completely different from your web app testing. You need to actually test a mobile app to understand all these things. Okay, good. uh, I think if you guys have anything else, we can speak about it. Otherwise, we'll wrap. I think we have covered almost all the stuff that we need to cover. Good. Good. And most importantly, guys, thank you for choosing this course. And I'm glad you guys are very religious with your learning stuff. You guys ask a lot of good doubts. You guys started to learn things, practice them, and also be a good student as well. So thank you for being thank you for choosing my course. Maybe if I conduct a new course, maybe you can also join them if you're interested. And share how you feel. Okay, share the feedback to me in email or your messages. Okay, I'm all ears. I can definitely take negative feedback as well. I'm not someone who always like to hear positive feedbacks, because if I get some really good suggestions to improve things, okay, I'll definitely do that, because that's gonna help me in my career as well. So I am all ears for your feedback. Okay, you guys have anything, you can also share, maybe in a message or in a group, or in an email, whatever the form is fine. But I'm expecting some kind of feedback, so that I can also try to improve. Okay, in you, if you face any issues in while using Apm, maybe I cannot dedicatedly spend daily some time. But Hamudan, I see some blocker, I could not proceed with it, I have researched a lot of stuff, then you can message me. I'll definitely try to help, whether be it Apm or any other technology that I know. Obviously don't ask technology that I don't know. But yeah, if you are feeling or having some issues, then always reach out to me. I'll try to help. Okay, I'm not telling I can definitely help, but I'll try to help, and then see how things work. Anything else, guys? Anything else? Otherwise we'll wrap the session, and then we'll connect in some other new course maybe in the future.
Thank you, Madan.
Thank you.
Madan.